you please introduce yourself so at least I know where you're from, what country you're from. Yeah, your name, I already see your name, at least what country you're from. So at least when I acknowledge you, I can acknowledge where you're from as well. I just want to kind of get a bigger picture as to who is online, where you're from, what part of the globe you're from. Because this right here is affecting all of us. The fact that the Strait of Hormuz is closed is affecting all of us globally. You know what I mean? So I want to see who is from Europe on here, from Israel on here, from the Philippines on here, Palestinian. It doesn't matter what nationality, what race you are. Just let me know where you're from, because I want to kind of dive into this crucial discussion here that is affecting all of us. The strait is closed. Let me see here. We should basically mean we are in the deadlock. All right, guys. Everyone, welcome back to the stream. We are live here. Today is April 18, 2026, and we are tracking a massive escalation in the Middle East. If you have been watching the news or just monitoring the news, the Strait of Hormuz is officially back on lockdown. It is absolutely chaotic, to be honest. Yesterday, I stated that the Strait of Hormuz was open. And I'm back again saying in the same exact words in less than 24 hours later that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Now, the leader of Iran stated the reason why it's closed. Hold on. The leader of Iran stated the reason why it's closed because the U.S. has a blockade at their entrance port. And if they are going to open the strait, it means that the U.S. will have to pull away their blockade at the entrance port of Iran. So as of this second, this minute, that entrance port, the strait is closed. And guys, if you get on here, just let me know where you're from, what city you're from, and just give me your take on how you feel with regards to what's going on now that the strait is closed. It means that 20% of the world population of oil. Somebody said UK. Hey, how you doing for the UK? That's Pinquin Bacon from the UK. How you doing? Lace from Indiana. How you doing? Thank you. Someone says Trump for king. All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So I don't know how President Trump feels right now, knowing that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. You know, I don't understand. I don't know how he feels. I don't know how other countries feels that the strait is closed. The U.S. should pull away, but still in the. That's right. I think I agree with you. Who is that? David, 24/7. I think we should pull away from the entrance port of Iran and still be on the Gulf and still be in the Gulf, but now directly at the entrance port of Iran. And that's the main reason why they closed that. The matter of fact, they stated the reason why they even opened the strait was the negotiation, the deal between Israel and Lebanon. Once that ceasefire took place, they opened the strait. Now, this is my take here, and that goes to President Trump, and that goes to any one of us who support making America great. I think we ought to remove the blockade that is at the entrance port of Iran and allow the strait to remain open, even though we don't have to move away from the coast, but we don't have to be directly at the entrance port of Iran. That's just my take on that. The leader stated here, they said Lebanon's ceasefire was the motivation as to why Iran thought of opening the port or the Strait of Hormuz, because of the agreement between Israel and Lebanon. Because the ceasefire, that was the end result of opening the strait. Now, let me see what you guys saying there. They should give them some breathing room to see if they keep. That's correct. That's correct. I think, to be honest, I thought we were just going to go. The U.S. was just going to go in there, put a little tension on Iran, and have them open the strait, and then remove that blockade away from Iran and just let the strait keep flowing. But from what I knew, for what I just discovered, is that we want to keep Israel or Iran blocked and keep the strait open. And Iran's saying they're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. So right now, they only allowed 6 to 8 ships that went through. That was it. The first ship that went through was Celestia. That's the first ship that went through. And then after that, 6 other ships, or the max was 8. After that, 0. Another ship attempted to go through, and that ship was shot at by the Iranian, I think, how you call them, the RG. Let me make sure I get my points straight here. The RG, right, they call it, hold on. Let me make sure I get the name of the Iran military. It's called, if you guys got a name of that in the chat, let me know. Iran military name is yes, they call them they call them as Islamic Revolutionary Guard. So it's IRGC. I'm sorry, guys. IRGC. So now there's another ship that was trying to get to the port, to the Strait of Hormuz, and that ship was shot at. So that ship did not get through. Now, that's correct. Thank you. IRGC. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So now, my question here, and I was asking some of my colleagues, I was asking other people who got deep concerns, because I do. 20% of the oil, that's a lot. 20% of the oil, I mean, to me, that's a lot. And for countries that haven't had oil since the war been going on now for almost almost close to 2 months. And if the strait remains closed, now the fault is not Iran no more now. The fault is President Trump, or the fault is the U.S. blockade on Iran. So now, if President Trump, for example, says Iran should open the strait, Iran will say, we're not going to open the strait because you have a blockade at our port. Which means if we can have any oil coming in, if we can do any transactions, we are not going to open the strait. So now the problem is on President Trump now, or the U.S., so to speak now. We are the one who now in control of why the strait is closed. This morning, it got closed. And the main major reason the U.S. is blocking the entrance port of Iran, which means Iran does not have any access, which means oil supplies or anything coming in and out is being regulated by the U.S. So in their opinion, they are not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to be subjected to the U.S. oppression while the strait is open. So any ship right now, according to the Iranian major, any ship that goes through or attempt to go through the strait will get shot at. One ship was trying to get through, according to CNN, was trying to get through, and that ship got shot at. The good thing is that nobody got hurt, but the ship got shot at by the IRGC. So basically right now, nothing going in, nothing coming out right now, and that's where we stand. So my question right now to us online, this guy really wearing that hat, what is sellout? All right, somebody call me the sellout now because I'm wearing the hat. You know what I mean? Now, regardless of where you are, it doesn't matter whether you're in the UK or you're in the US, it doesn't matter where you are. Gas price is going up. The cost of living is going up. I'm in the US right now. I'm in New York City. The cost of living is going up. It is going up. And yesterday, when the strait was open, I don't know whether you guys realized that if you drive, the gas price fell. Prices fell. Just for that less than 48 hours that strait was open, gasoline prices fell. Now, I bet you, if you get in your car right now and you head out and you go to any gas station right now, the price has gone back up. Now, my question here, will President Trump open the strait? Not open the strait, will President Trump pull away from Iran so the strait can be open? So now the problem is not Iran no more, it's the U.S. now. We are the one who got the strait indirectly closed. So what do we need to do? Pull away from Iran. And I don't think President Trump will do that. That's just my take on that. I don't think he's willing to pull away from the port of Iran just to keep the strait open. I don't know what the next plan is going to be. I don't know how he's going to figure that out. I don't know how his strategist going to do that. I'm just imagining what are they trying to figure out right now, because the port is being closed just because of the U.S. Yeah, we are the one who closing the strait right now. It's not Iran no more. We are, because we are imposing against their import and export. Now let me see what somebody said right here. This guy really wearing that hat. Yes, I am wearing that hat. We know that. Gas is still high. That's right. Gas is still high. And just imagine, I'm in New York City. The price is outrageous. I drove at a gas station. Where was that? I know what you guys know what the city is. In half of the city, gas was almost $6.83. $6.83. I don't know what it's like in California. I don't know what it's like in LA. And you guys from the UK, from Indiana, I know what the price is. But the price is up there. I mean, anything more than $5 of gas, because before the strip was closed, gas prices were like what, 5 something or so, depending on what state you're in. You know what I mean? Now the gas price is outrageous now. I'm saying the last one I seen yesterday was $6.83. So I don't know what you guys' prices are, in the state that you're in. Let me know, guys, what the prices are in your state. Next plan is whatever Netanyahu tell him. So do you guys believe that Netanyahu is the one who actually telling President Trump what to do? Gas may be expensive, but is somehow cheaper than Coca-Cola. Interesting. Per gallon. All right. Someone says cheaper. What's the name on it? Double Oshkosh. Thank you, Double Oshkosh. Someone said the gas price is $3.85. Where is that? Even Chad Furry, if I'm not pronouncing that right. Someone says in New Jersey it's $3.99 for regular gas. Oh, that's amazing. Oh man, New Jersey $3.99 for gas. Food is expensive. Yes, food is expensive. Yeah, I mean that's now. If the strait remains closed as it is now, it's in my only issue with Trump is the professionalism. Let me read that part. Let me shout who she is. Or Raymond, not she, but he. Raymondy 288. My only issue with Trump is the professionalism. This is not the apprehense. I pretend. I pretend. Is that what it says? I pretend to normal man. Can you break that down for me a little bit more? When you mean I pretend, what do you mean? I pretend, what do you mean? To normal man, what do you mean? Someone says gas price in Northeast Tennessee is $3.78. What does mega means? Making America great again. That way means. Who asked that question? Who asking that question? April 5109. Someone said in Connecticut, not too far from here, Connecticut, it's $3.99. Is that regular gas or full gas? I cannot pay meat. The dude has the same reading level as Mayweather. Your only issue is the professionalism. His only issue is the professionalism. Yeah, well, and I don't want to speak on behalf of President Trump because I don't think that's my That is my what should I say? My space or place to say this is what he must do or this is what he must say. And when you say professionalism, I don't know in what context are you relating when you say professionalism. I think where President Trump is right now, he compressed against what is being pressure from home. We are not on the same page with his decision of going to war or his decision or what he's doing right now in the Middle East or just his whole interaction with Iran. We got people in positions who are saying that the war is unnecessary. We should not have gone into war. So President Trump is dealing with different pressure from different people. And it also has to do with his allies and global pressure as well. So professionalism, I think he is exhibiting professionalism, but I think he's playing that on his own terms because he does not have the support from most of us in America. A lot of us not supporting President Trump. A lot of us deem the war to be more a waste. A lot of us think the war is actually, to be honest, it's not something that we're supposed to be involved into. So professionalism, I think he is. When you say negotiation, he's now willing to negotiate to the extent that will meet the needs or their needs in Iran. So that is my take on why he handling things the way he's doing it. That's just my take on that. Stick is about $70 here. So yeah, now let me read something here. Let me say it is a ripple. It is a ripple effect from the strike back in April. Iran is using the strait as its only remaining leverage. I think I agree on that. It's their only remaining leverage. Now, it is a ripple effect from the strike back in February. Iran is using the strait as its only remaining leverage. I'd agree. I mean, I would use the strait as my only leverage. Because what else does Iran has that they can use to pursue or persuade the U.S. from removing the blockade at their entrance port? I mean, Iran is not as sophisticated to say they got sophistication that they can impose on the U.S. to the extent where Trump can say, you know what? All right, we're going to remove the blockade at the entrance port. Because if Iran was equipped enough, to be honest, they would not even ask the U.S. to remove their blockade from the entrance port. They would just automatically remove the U.S. from the blockade or from the entrance port. So that tells me that they do not have the full equipment or the manpower to remove the blockade that is at the entrance port. So since they don't have that luxury to do that, what they're going to do is to make sure that they impose their will on the strait. Means that in no ship coming in, if we can block 20% of the oil flow to nations, then we can pressure the U.S. or other nation can put a press on the U.S. to get that blockade from the entrance port. So right now, the U.S. is the one who's actually withholding the strait from being open. I don't care what anyone says in the chat. It's not Iran no more. President Trump, which is the guy that I love the most, that I respect the most, he is the one right now who is withholding the 20% of the world's oil. President Trump is. You know what I mean? So let me go in the chat and see what you guys got to say in the chat. You love Trump the most? Yes. Oh yeah, Trump is my guy. You know nothing about military strategies. Stop talking garbage. Well, if I do not know anything about military strategy, I know 20% of the world is not receiving oil. How's that? That is enough strategy to tell anyone, listen, I know we're trying to impose our will against Iran, but if 20% of the world is still struggling to get oil, if prices going up, what kind of world strategy is that? What kind of military strategy is that? Help me out. Jay, explain that to me. What's your name on there? Tier Hype TV. Explain that to me. No, not Tia Happy. I'm sorry, guys. Clay Oliver. Explain that to me. When prices are going up across the globe because the strait is closed by the U.S., it's not Iran closing the strait. Iran is only saying, we don't mind the strait being open. We don't mind ship going through. We don't mind other countries getting 20% of the oil. But we are not going to be deprived by the U.S. or by President Trump, or boldly by President Trump or the U.S. by keeping our entrance port blocked. So if they keep our entrance port blocked, then we will block the strait where other countries cannot get any oil. I bet you no country, or none of the countries that you and I know that depend on 20% of the oil that moves through the strait will be in support of President Trump imposing a blockade on Iran. None. No country at all. It doesn't matter whether you're part of the NATO or United Nations. No country is in agreement right now with President Trump keeping a blockade on Iran that has imposed sanction back again on the Strait of Hormuz. Also, the primary reason why the strait was open yesterday, and I said it yesterday live, and you guys heard me saying that, it was due to the peace negotiation between Israel and Lebanon. Once that ceasefire talk commenced, they opened the strait. That strait would never open. Regardless of what President Trump was saying, that strait was still closed by Iran. That strait was open yesterday, and that's how we even found out. 6 to 8 ships was able to pass through because the strait was open. Now, it's not Iran that has the hand or the holder on that strait no more. We are, the U.S., we are controlling the strait right now. We are imposing that the strait remain closed indirectly when President Trump's intent is to keep the strait open. But the strait will not be open if we keep a sanction on Iran. Because the strait is the only leverage that Iran has to be voiced out to the world and say, we want the U.S. to move the blockade. If they do, then we will pull away from the strait. But if U.S. refuse to move the blockade at our port, we will not allow any ship to go through. So you can tell me in your life, oh, it's Iran who got the strait blocked. No, it's us, U.S., that got the strait blocked. We are the one who are now in control of that. When we pull away from Iran and not put them on a sanction. Look, let me say this right here, and I want you guys to help me out in the chat, all right? Whatever you say, that's fine. I thought our objective of going into the Gulf was to make sure we pose enough pressure on Iran to open the strait. That's what I thought. I thought the blockade that we created was just a little extra pressure on Iran to open the strait. I never thought that we were going to just be stationed there. See, that's a problem now. See, that's a problem now. I thought we were just going to keep enough pressure where they open the strait and then we back off. But now the strait was open yesterday. Do you know that? Do you know the prices fell? Yesterday when the strait was open, the stock market in New York City went down. Things were a little bit better. This morning, less than 24 hours, the strait was closed. And what did Iran says? The U.S. is the reason why the strait is closed. We are not going to cave into President Trump. We are not going to do that. We are not going to be at the mercy of America. That's what they stated. We're not going to do that. If America is going to keep the blockade on our entrance port, we will keep the strait closed. So right now, as I speak, we must talk to President Trump to open the strait, not Iran. So whatever military strategy that we created as the U.S. to go into the strait, I think right now we need to degress a little bit, pull back a little bit, remove ourselves from the entrance port of Iran and let the strait come back, let the strait be open. Because let me say this right here, guys. 20% of the world supplies, if that strait remain closed again for the next 6 months, not 6 months, 6 weeks or so, prices will become outrageous. Right now, gas price is crazy. Groceries is crazy. The price is outrageous. You guys, just imagine, take $100, go to a grocery store. You will bring home nothing, barely nothing. Why do you think is that? Because the Strait, prices are high. Now, don't tell me in the live here, don't tell me in the live, oh, it's President Trump. No, not President Trump, it's Iran. No. We are the one got that Strait close. We are the one right now. Now watch this right here. Iran is using the Strait as a leverage. Now you guys know what a leverage is. A leverage meaning we don't have anything else at our disposal that will make the world to put a pressure on the U.S. So this is what we're going to do. We will hold on tight to the Strait as of today, and we will demand the global NATO, United Nations, ECOWAS, who else we got? Just countries to put pressure on the U.S. to remove the blockade from the entrance port of Iran. That's it. Now, Iran does not have anything else to leverage except the Strait. I mean, they don't have any military superpower to remove the U.S. from the Strait. So we are going to use the Strait as a leverage to impose pressure on the U.S. Now hear this right here. It said, let's talk about the Skimon Hero. This is an Indian flag tanker. It actually has a clearance to pass, but Saturday morning it was shot at. So the Indian did not know. The Indian ship called Sanmar, S-A-N-M-A-R, Sanmar Hero, was the last ship I was trying to get through, and that ship got shot at by the IRGC, which means today as we speak, and you guys who follow me in this live, that Strait is blocked. Now let me go back to the live here and see if there are any questions here I can answer here. And God, let's just stay on subject, okay? And with the Strait as their leverage, they are doing really well. That's right. You know, you're so smart. Let me see who that is. Let me see who that is. Somebody just said something so profound. Maybe Nabi 7524. That's correct. Well, I think Iran have been doing a pretty good job using the Strait as a leverage. Pretty good job, because besides the Strait, there's nothing else that they got that can impose all pressure the U.S. to remove its blockade at the entrance port. Now, since the lockdown took place today, there are countries who are putting pressure on President Trump now to remove the blockade from the entrance port of Iran. Let me see somebody else in the live say he was laughing at the U.S. because he is a great journalist, but he has 24/7 subs. What is that? See, I want you guys in the live to just be more clear. When you want to criticize me, be more clear, because I'm confused what I just read. Let me see here. Someone says it is ours now. Yes, we are the one responsible now. And when I say us, the U.S. is responsible for the lockdown of the Strait. That's it. All right? Now, but look, let's logically, from what I just read, let's logically look at this right here. Let me just read something again. It is all a ripple effect from the strikes back in early February. That's when the attack took place, right? Iran is using the Strait as its only remaining leverage. That's something that President Trump should already have known. Should already know that. Iran, he stated, we have destroyed everything that Iran has. President Trump himself said it. We have destroyed everything. They are powerless. They got no ways and no means. The airspace is our airspace. We can invade it any given time. We can extract any part of Iran just with all a string of a thought. But you're not smart enough to know that they are using the Strait to manipulate and create chaos even here at home, when all we need to do is pull back from the entrance port of Iran and let wherever comes in, I don't want to take that back, not wherever comes in, but give them a breathing room where they can transact their normal business. But at the same time, 20% of the world oil is still being transported. Come on, man, come on. You know, I knew this was coming. I said this yesterday once I got the alert that Iran shut down the Strait. I said to myself, I said, these guys are very smart, very intelligent. They're just going back to the basics fundamental. Shut down the Strait, put pressure on the U.S. Shut down the Strait, make other countries to put pressure on us. Right now, I believe right now President Trump is thinking right now what to do. What is the next move? Were you going to keep the pressure on Iran, or are you going to keep the Strait open? 20% of the world needs oil. Will you keep Iran being blocked, or are you going to open the port of Iran so 20% of the world can get oil? Are you going to keep the sanction on Iran and then deprive 20% of the world getting oil? President Trump, that's the question now. Will you keep Iran being blocked while they keep the Strait closed? 20% of the world still needs oil. Price is crazy. It's outrageous. Now, if we keep Iran blocked and they keep the Strait blocked, what happens? What happens? You and I eventually may not go to work. You and I eventually may not have heat at home. You and I eventually, like I said yesterday, there are hospitals across other countries that needs that 20% of oil to take care of patients in hospitals. A lot of you guys understand that other countries, third world countries, other countries that are not as developed as us, who needs oil to keep people afloat. So if President Trump is not smart enough, which I think he is smart enough, to say, you know what, listen, we're gonna keep we're gonna make sure we pull back from the port of Iran and let the Strait stay open. Because at home in the US, gas price few blocks away, almost $7. Someone just told me in New Jersey it's about what, $3.99. In Connecticut it's about $3.99 or so on a regular gas. But again, whether that's true or whether it still is, who knows? Yesterday when I was coming back, I seen the price fell. Even the stock market fell. But now I bet you prices is back up again. President Trump is the one who holding the Strait, who got the Strait closed. Whether directly or indirectly, they got the Strait closed. Iran stated very emphatically well, we are not in control of the Strait, but we will use the Strait as a leverage to put pressure on the world, to put pressure on President Trump to open the Strait, not to open the Strait, I apologize, to remove the blockade from our entrance port, and then we can open the Strait for oil to come in. Which one is more important? Keeping Iran blocked, or the blockade or Iran, or open the port to let 20% of the world supply to flow? Do you know how many ships still dock since this pressure has been placed on the Strait or Mars? 1,000+ ships dock, can't move, just sitting there. Do you know how many oil just sitting there? Do you know how many countries right now in the hole right now with no oil being supplied? The great U.S. right now we're in. If we're going through hell in the U.S. right now, through hell, as great as we are, think about other countries. What do you think the gas price is right now? I was just reading an article on countries in Africa. The gas price is like $100 for gas. $100 for gas. $100 for gas? Why is that? Because the Strait is closed. Now, my appeal to President Trump, like a guy a big fan of President Trump, who followed President Trump, who believe in his vision, I think it's time that we open the Strait. and allow other countries, and allow not other countries, to allow other countries to have access to oil. Iran is not a major focus. I know it is, in the sight of President Trump, in the sight of the U.S., Iran is a major target. But if you look at other countries right now who barely got oil, they don't care about, Iran at this point. They just don't care, to be honest. They want their oil. So if the U.S. can remove that blockade that they got not in front of the port of Iran, people want oil. And America trying to keep a blockade on Iran is putting pressure on the Strait. Now, let me go in the chat and see what we got in the chat here. I know you guys, look at the chat. It's cool, you guys in the chat. You goofy, man. Lefty in the chat knows nothing about anything. You know what? I take that. I agree. You know what I mean? You may be rich. A lot of us not rich, so we need oil. All right. There are other countries that needs the oil. All right. And I'm a big fan of President Trump, and I'm saying this as a man who believes in making America great. Other countries needs oil. There are hospitals. I was reading an article that really broke my heart. There are hospitals across the globe that needs oil for generators to work. So you may be in your comfortable space, living your luxury life and got money. There are third world countries that need oil to facilitate their facility. I'm just saying, all right? Now, it's a ripple effect. And the Lebanon ceasefire gave us a glimpse of hope. But this morning, as we awoke this morning, the crisis reenacted, where the RRGC took over and blocked the strait. All right. Now, this is what I read from New York Times, right? We are going to keep our eyes on the feed from what is going on in the Middle East. That's what we're going to do. All right. Now, if you got any insertion, and this is New York Times saying this right here. I'm just reading what New York Times says. New York Times says that we are keeping our eyes on what is going on in the Strait. And in as much as we are keeping our eyes on what is going on in the Strait, at this given point in time now, it is not Iran that controls the Strait. It's the U.S. that controls the Strait. And what do we mean that the U.S. controls the Strait at this point in time? Because Iran implied the reason why they are still holding the Strait is because of the blockade that is being imposed by President Trump. They did not say the U.S. They said being imposed by President Trump. So right now, Iran is not. Let me say in a better way that I don't get judged. I don't get snapped or something. Iran only leverage is the Strait of Hormuz. That's the only leverage. And that will always be their leverage. And I think it's something that the world superpowers must come to grip. Whenever things does not go the way Iran intend, the Strait will be what they will hold on to. Because that's their only hope right now. Iran does not have any sophistication or anything tangible that they can hold on to that will impose their will against the U.S. now, but the Strait. So when they opened the Strait yesterday, were based on the negotiation between Israel and Lebanon. That negotiation led to the opening of the Strait. That's what Iranian leaders stated. The only reason why we opened the Strait because Israel agreed to an agreement with Lebanon. Now, since that was open yesterday, they thought, and that apparently that's their mindset, their idea, that the U.S. will pull back away from the entrance port if the strait is open. But then since yesterday, in less than 24 hours, the U.S. still imposed or still got the blockade imposed against Iran. Now, and for the chat, and let me ask this, why shipping company don't just risk it all? Now I'm gonna ask you guys in the chat here, right? Do you guys believe that at this point in time, President Trump should pull away from the strait? Not from the strait, rather. Should pull away from Iran and just keep the strait open? I'm asking you guys in the chat, right? At this point in time, since Iran is claiming the U.S. is responsible for the strait being closed, do you agree at this point in time we should just pull back away from Iran and allow the strait to be open? Talk to me. And guys, make sure you hit that like button for me, guys. And hit that follow. All right? Hit that follow. Let me see what you guys say in the chat here. That truth is Robocop. All right? Robocop. I mean, what do you mean it's truth is Robocop? So you're saying the U.S. should not pull away from the entrance port of Iran. If we do not pull away from the entrance port of Iran, it means the strait will remain closed. It also means 20% of the world supply would never go through. It also means the price in wherever we stay will go up. It means that your pocket will have holes in it because the strait is closed. I'm just saying. Let me see. Yvonne Voltage. The opposite would be to have the strait closed, which we have now. It said, mind you, the strait was open anyway before the U.S. came. All right, the strait was open anyway before the U.S. came. Yeah. The strait was open. The strait open. I mean, are you saying that before the U.S. came in terms of the war that we declared, or because before the war, before the attack that we started in February, yes, the strait was open. The strait was open. You know, I mean, what amazes me though, to be honest, do you guys realize that Iran was folks were paying taxes to travel through the strait, and those taxes that they were paying, it was illegal, and they were paying taxes to Iran. So, yes, the strait was open until we invaded. I don't want to say invaded. I'm going to take that back. Until we attacked Iran, yes, the strait was open then. But when we declare war on Iran, at a certain point in time, they closed the strait. Because all lives matter. Someone said all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter. Yes, absolutely, all lives matter. We have oil. We have Venezuela oil to do what? Yeah. Well. See. I think that's being selfish. You see, and for us as Americans to say, let's keep the sanction on Iran because we got oil supply from Venezuela. That's being selfish because 20% of the world does not have access to Venezuelan oil. So, if that is the mindset that we have as American, to keep the sanction on Iran because we got Venezuela, the oil, if we need oil, we can get it in Venezuela, then we are being selfish as Americans. The overall country, the overall globe depends on the strait for oil. That should be the concentration focus right now. Guys, stay focused. Let's stay focused on the conversation, guys. You know, you guys are worried about the black man with a mega hat and you know, the black man with a mega hat. Come on, let's stay focused on this issue right here. It's crucial. It's crucial. People are struggling, all right? And the longer the strait remains closed, I don't care how much you got in your bank account, you will spend more for grocery. Something that we don't understand. We don't understand this. And that's the reason why I don't want to talk about the hat, the Trump thing and all that, because this is a major issue. 20% of the world supply of oil was stopped yesterday because we, as U.S., got a blockade at the entrance port of Iran. If we just remove that blockade or just pull it away a little bit, I know President Trump would sit back today and recalibrate and recalculate. It makes no sense to keep a blockade at the entrance port of Iran when that is affecting 20% of the world supplies. Do you think countries cares about the U.S. having a blockade at the entrance port of Iran? Come on, man. Who cares about that? People want oil. I think President Trump should sit down today and recalibrate. Let's remove the Navy SEAL ship at the entrance port of Iran so the strait can remain open. We need the Strait of Hormuz open. We don't care. We don't give a jack about what President Trump is saying right now. Pull back away from Iran, open the strait, because countries need oil. That's it. There ain't no discussion, ain't no negotiation, ain't nothing to kind of say, President Trump, please open the strait. Come on. 20% of the world needs oil. All right? 20% of the world right now, prices high. The cost of living is high. People are struggling. So, because people are struggling, should we say President Trump keep Iran unrestrained? It don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Another journalist said this. Absolute chaos. Another president said this is a total disruption. Not only just total disruption, but this is just a misappropriation of power being exhibited against a country that is powerless. Iran can do nothing. Why can't we just remove our blockade, the Navy SEAL, away from the entrance port? At least away from the entrance port, so they can keep the strait open. Do you know how many weapons and ammunition that is being held at that entrance port, at that strait, by Iranians? Come on, man. Come on, guys. You know what? Let me get in the chat again. Let me get in the chat, guys. Let me get in the chat and hear you guys talk. Today, I am wearing my Make Kamala Harris Sober Again. You know what? You guys keep a smile on my face sometimes when I get so serious. Gas prices affect the prices of all goods. That's right. That's right. Let me read something what Bill Gates says. Bill Gates is probably one of the, I don't want to say one of the, probably the top 5 richest men in the world, if I'm not mistaken, right? Top 5 richest men in the world. He says, I awoke this morning and I heard a news that I never intend to hear, that the supplies that meets the needs of 20% of the world supply was shut down simply because we refuse to remove a blockade from the entrance port of Iran. That's it. That's the reason why Iran blocked the entrance port. And this is what Bill Gates says. He woke up this morning just to find out the U.S. refused to move its blockade from the entrance port of Iran so the world can get 20% of oil supplies. Right now, as we speak right now, there are over 1,000 plus ships dock, cannot come through the strait. And those ships been docked there for weeks. For weeks. As I speak right now, the war that's going on right now in Iran between the U.S. is almost close to 2 months. Almost close to 2 months. Now, if this continue, it means that the prices of everything will be 3 times more. 3 times more. Now, this is a strategy here on the part of Iran, and that's something that I would do. And that's something that I believe that it will be a continuance of their strategies as long as the U.S. keep that blockade at the entrance port. They are going to use the Strait of Hormuz as a leverage in such a way that they can impose pressure on the world supply, and the world will impose pressure on President Trump to remove that blockade at the entrance port. All right, guys, make sure you guys follow me. Make sure you follow me. Tomorrow, I will be at a few court places tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will be at the Weinstein tomorrow and a few other places tomorrow. So follow me tomorrow. Yes, for the latest news and so forth. Let me see what somebody says here. Man is a fad. A man is a fad. There we go. Listen to the Promenian, two ladies, Barbarian and Susan. Now the truth. You have no idea, bro. I have no idea on what's going on. Talk to me. I have no idea on what. Buy my. No, I'm good, guys. I'm good on buying stuff. Very clear that President Trump has no idea what he was doing in this conflict. All right. He said, "Who knew they were going to close the strait?" That's correct. Let me give a shout out to Serenity UWU. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what? I don't want to say. I'm a big Trump supporter, so I don't want to say he didn't know what he was doing. I don't want to say that. I go to a lot of press meetings, and I interview a lot of press, a lot of officials. I was at the Madani thing, and Madani says something that we are spending, and that kind of resonated. It struck me when he says we are spending millions every day in Iran just to see people die. All right, now that's a man. Madani is a man that I got a lot of respect for. The matter of fact, when he was running for election to be reelected or to be elected, I had a few interviews with him. So I was very skeptical when he says that his perception of the war in Iran is not my view, it's not President Trump's view. He has a totally different view that we just wasting money and causing chaos. Now, yesterday, a reporter during the conference asked Madani, what do you think if Iran opens the strait? What do you expect from President Trump in return? He says something that kind of resonated, it stuck with me. He says, remove the blockade from their entrance port. We don't want to have this equal trade, and the equal trade means that we don't want to have Iran closing the strait because we refuse or we depriving them of having access to goods and services. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. You know what I mean? Look, I'm a Trump guy all day. And if I'm criticizing President Trump, and that's really serious because the world is struggling. The price of oil is high. I mean, there's no other way I can say it. The cost of living is high. 20% of the world's supply of oil stopped. Now has it stopped a week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. Their war is going on now for almost 2 months. 20%. We got almost 1,000 plus ship being docked, can't move. Stuck overseas, just stuck in the Gulf. The only ship that came through yesterday was Celestia and 6 other ships. The rest got stopped. The Palestinian ship was trying to get through today. They got shot at. So Iran is not playing. They are saying, we're not going to open the strait if President Trump is blocking our entrance port. So that's a fair trade. We open the strait, President Trump remove your blockade from our entrance port. Logically, it makes sense. Because the whole essence of President Trump even allowing the Navy SEAL to get close to Iran port was to put pressure so Iran can open the strait. Yesterday, they did that. They opened the strait yesterday. And they said they opened the strait in celebration of Israel and Lebanon peace agreement. And that's something that we should highlight. Now, the strait is open regardless for whatever reason it was open. It is open now, right? What I expected President Trump to do, or the U.S. military or the U.S. Navy SEAL to do, pull back away from Iran entrance port and let's keep the peace. And let's keep the peace. Simple as that. But now, Iran is saying we are not responsible, or we are not solely stopping ships for coming to and fro. All we are doing, we are protecting our interests. I'm just reading what they say here. I'm just reading that right off the of my computer here. We are protecting our interest. And as much as we want the word interest to prevail, we also want our best interest to prevail. What are they saying in short? Why are they telling you and I in short? Keep pressure on President Trump to remove the blockade from the entrance port, from our entrance port, and we will remove the blockade that we have imposed on the Strait of Hormuz. And that way, 20% of the world gets oil, but at the same time, Iran can still be able to transact their transactions and do their normal business. That's that. That's where we are right here. And let me read something here from BBC that really speaks volume to this, all right? BBC stated that when the Strait of Hormuz was open yesterday, gas prices fell. The stock market fell. They also stated that not only just in the U.S., it's globally, it had a global impact once Iran opened the strait. Now, a CNN is giving us these authentic facts. I believe that President Trump also reading this type of news, and he probably understood when that strait was open yesterday, because he even acknowledged that yesterday. He even reaffirmed that yesterday when the Iranian leader confirmed that the strait was open. President Trump said it. It's open. But do you think that it would have been kept open while we still kept sanction on Iran? No. Any question, guys? Any question in the chat? Oh, man, look at the question in the chat, guys. Lefties need better sources. Yeah. Well, you know what? I agree with you on that, right? I say I don't watch CNN. NSBC. Someone said don't watch CNN. NSBC. For the same reason why I don't eat out of the toilet. All right, so CNN is a toilet. NBC. Okay, guys, look. So this is what we're saying. So what you guys saying in this chat? I want to be clear. Are you guys saying that you guys don't give a jack about the strait being closed or not? As long as Iran is on ascension, that's all matters, right? You guys don't care that 20% of the world needs oil. As long as Iran is being not bullied, but being blocked. That's all matters right now. Because what I'm reading here is that you guys telling me you guys don't care about 20% of the world that needs oil. We are more focused on making sure Iran is encaved. It's strangled. There's nothing going in, nothing coming out. They are restricted, banned, deprived. But let's not forget now, there are other people in Iran who needs to survive just as we are. So let's not forget that. That's the reason why we need to have that flexibility where the strait can be open. Guys, make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow me, guys. Make sure you guys follow me. Hit that follow button and follow me. All right? Someone says, on the insight of what's going on in Iran, it is nothing new, but President Trump got something to do. I love that. I love how it's being worded. It worded like somebody is a poet. I don't like this high depth of what's going on. Dumb off, bro is friend, ha 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 ha. The strait closed again. That's correct, it's closed again. Two nuclear countries went to war with another country because they don't want them to have nuclear weapon. That's the whole essence as to why we are in, I don't want to say that's a major essence. But that is one of the motivating factors as to why we are in Iran today. Because we are saying that they do have, or they are creating, or they are producing mass weapon of mass destruction. The matter of fact, to be clear though, we didn't go to war with Iran. Is that Israel went to war, and we, being the allies of Israel, we just fell for our allies and how we got involved. Let me see here in the live here. I'm not going to spend my life being a color. I'm American. I love it. I love it. Nobody in America should spend their life in color. We are Americans. I agree. We are Americans, so I agree. You believe Trump every word? I believe Trump in a lot of words. If you ask me, if Trump were to say, if Trump says 100 words, I'll believe about 99.9% of those words are true, because his heart for America is real. He may not say the right thing all the time, and that's normal. We all don't say the right thing all the time. But I think right now, with the strait being closed, President Trump needs to put the word best interest forward. I think right now he needs to put the word that we're in best interest, and not just the U.S. or not just Israel best interest, but the word best interest right now. If he does not do that, Iran will control the strait, and if they control the strait economically, it would not look good for us here at home. It would not look good. So I just want to kind of get on this podcast and throw a little light on that. Yes, just throw a little bit of light on it. Any more question here? You should stay sucker free, but no, you're a sucker for Trump. Yeah, not Trump. I don't want to say Trump, because I'm wearing a hat that said make America great again. You know what I mean? You should wear that hat if you're an American. If you're not an American, I understand that, but you should wear this hat. All right, because at the end of the day, we want the world to be great again. And when America is great again, the world is great again. All right, if America removed that blockade at the entrance port of Iran, the world will be great again. And we as America will be great again. So yeah, vote against yourself. Hey guys, just stay focused on the discussion here, guys. Stay focused on the discussion here, guys. I am a British national. It's Waffle Jackson 42. Let me read what she says. I am a British national, and there is quite a few people who are willing to sacrifice petroleum to the RGC are taken care of. You see, hey guys, listen to this right here. Listen to what this person stated. Listen to this right here. I'm gonna read this very clear, and I want you guys to pay close attention. She said, I don't know who she is, but I am a British, and there is quite a few people who are willing to sacrifice petroleum to Iran to have them taken care of. Now, if this is true, then it makes sense why Iran refusing to let anything pass through that strait, because there are countries who are catering to Iran needs of oil. So Iran has nothing to lose. They're just one country against thousands of countries that needs 20% of oil. So if we impose sanction or our will against Iran, who is affected the most? We are. Iran is just one country against thousands of countries that needs oil. So if we so egotistical, or so power struggle, or just want to insert our power because we're a great country, who suffers? It's not Iran. It's you and I, or the countries are. Iran is just one country against thousands of countries that needs oil. So if President Trump keeps that blockade on Iran, who suffers? I'm just saying, who suffers? Or the countries? We are? So forth. So I beg President Trump, and I know other countries are, asking the U.S. to remove that blockade. And by tomorrow, not by tomorrow, by today, I'm going to come back live again later on. And I know for a fact that President Trump is very intelligent, very smart. And I know Rubio, very smart. I know these guys are sitting down right now and trying to do a math and calculate and come up with something tangible that would appeal to all of us to open that strait. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? You know what I mean? I just want to get on live here to give you guys the most recent update on that strait. Talk about your country leaving the mines alone. The picture, the country. Let me find something tangible here that's in relation. It called greed. Greed. It called greed and grifting of the U.S. people. It's called greed. So someone says in the chat, the fact that we are depriving or keep Iran or got a blockade on the port of Iran, they say it's due to greed. Due to greed. You can imagine if they came halfway across the world and attack America oil. I'm just saying. You know what? You know what? Yes. Erica, Clay, 5347. You know what? I agree with you. If the role was reversed, and I think that's what you meant, if the role was reversed, where the Iranian ship drove across international waters and come here and just, let's say New York City, and block New York City entrance port, how will we feel? How will we feel? Every New Yorker, not just New Yorkers themselves, every American will take offense to that. And I think we should put that same ideology or analogy in the shoes of the Iranian. Okay, we had to go into the Gulf, which President Trump said, I got to go into the Gulf and open the strait because we cannot afford to have the strait closed. Dispatched the U.S. Navy SEAL, got into the Gulf, blocked the strait blocked the entrance port of Iran. In my understanding, and like I said again earlier, I thought when the entrance port, I thought the pressure from the U.S. against Iran was to just keep them a little pressure where they can open the strait and then back off. That's what I thought we were going to do. I thought that was a move on the part of President Trump. Keep a little pressure on Iran, just a little pressure, where they'll have no choice but to open the strait. And once they open the strait, we'll back up the Navy ship away from their port. But it seemed like to me, President Trump had a different game plan. He wants that ship dock at Iran coastline for good. And Iran is saying, we are not going to, we don't fear the U.S., we don't fear President Trump, we're not going to back down. If they keep the strait closed, if they keep the pressure on our entrance port, we will keep the entrance, we will keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. That's it. So right now, as I speak right now, President Trump controls the Strait of Hormuz. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the love. President Trump controls the Strait of Hormuz as I speak right now. Iran does not control the strait. If anyone told you Iran controls the strait, that's a lie. Right now, President Trump controls the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, United States of America controls the Strait of Hormuz right now. If the world does not get oil today, President Trump and United States of America is responsible, not Iran. Why are they responsible? Because America's supposed to remove the blockade from Iran so 20% of the world population can get oil. If President Trump does not act today, it will mean he does not care about 20% of the world supply of oil. Thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for the love. That's it. And I believe that as smart as he is, as strategic as he is, Rubio, as strategic as they are, Herseth, as strategic as they are, they will pull back away from Iran and open that strait, because the world cannot go another week, another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks with the strait being closed. We just can't. We just cannot afford that. So, President Trump, you hearing me? Your supporter, your biggest fan, open the strait. Pull back away from Iran, open the strait. We cannot point fingers at Iran and not point a finger at us, because we got the strait closed. Thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the love, guys. Thank you. 20% of the world population depends on the oil through the strait. That's correct. 20% of the world population. And I'm saying 20% of some of the greatest superpowers depend on that 20% of oil. Even us, as great as we are, we relied on that 20% as well. So America does depend on that. Germany, France, the UK, you name it all. Superpowers depend on that 20% of oil supplies. And we need that. So President Trump needs to be considerate this morning, to be considerate from now on, to open the strait, because Iran is saying they are not in charge of the strait. The only reason why they are in charge of the strait is because President Trump refused to remove the blockade at their entrance port. Any more questions, guys? Someone said, let me laugh on this. Someone said, the guy supports a man who wears a full face of a makeup every day. Yeah, guys. I mean, everybody make up 9 days. You know what I mean? I don't make up, but everybody make up 9 days. I know every actor's makeup, TV, you know, so it's, I mean, you know what I mean? President Trump is not the first man to make up. Everybody do it. I mean, it's a norm now. 20% of the world oil, correct, comes through the strait. That's correct. It said, when was America great for African Americans? Someone asking the same question. You know, I believe this. Whoever asking this question maybe wants to hear more racist discussion in this chat, but I'm not going to discuss that now, but that's a good question. When was America great for African American to be great? The same person yesterday asked me the same exact question. I said that yesterday. Never have African American ever been great in America. Never been great. Never been great. So I don't want to go through that. That'll be another discussion another time, guys. Thank you. But to answer your question, African American in America had never been great since America was founded. Never had a chance to be great. Let me be clear. Loading up the old head, talking to the phone like the phone like they are the, I don't know what you guys write some stuff that just make me laugh because I don't understand what you guys say. Define great. Define great. Someone says you define great. I would say great is a point on epic where one reaches refinement. I would say the word great is a point or the epic where once reach their refinement. I'm just leave it as that. That's great. About 2 years ago on what? I like how you answer that question. Yeah. That is not the definition of Google. Well, I'm giving you my definition, not Google. I'm not giving you AI definition. I'm giving you a definition from my head. Because I'm highly intelligent like that. You know what I mean? I don't need to reference Google for what is being great. Because I'm heading to greatness. So that's my perception. Since I'm heading in that direction, if someone asks me what is greatness to me, it's my refining of myself to where I'm at. That's greatness. It is a dictionary, not AI. Okay, guys. Let's stay focused here, guys. You guys always try to straight off. All right, guys. So that's where we are. And I will come back with another update as to whether President Trump agreed to pull back away from Iran. We will discuss that. And I pray that President Trump comes to that understanding that 20% of the world needs oil, and we need to remove our blockade at the entrance port of Iran, so everybody can have this. I don't want to say freedom, but have the access to free trade. And I know right now, President Trump is sitting right now thinking, what is our next move? Iran stated we are responsible for the Strait being closed. Now, what is my next move as president or the leader of the free world? What is my next move? I bet you right now that is the conference or that meeting right now these guys are having right now. However way that discussion is going to go, we need the Strait of Hormuz open, and we need to pull back from Iran and let them have their access. And we can still regulate Iran, but not have our blockade at their coastline. That is unacceptable. You know what I mean? Again, I love you guys. Let's make America great. Because I'm all about making America great. That is my, what should I say? That is my number one primary focus. Every day I wear this hat is to make America great. I also want to see other countries great. I want to see 20% of the oil supply coming through the Strait of Hormuz. I want to see that being great. I want to see people not struggling to make ends meet. We need to make people's lives great. So I'm all about making people's lives great. That's my focus, you know what I mean? And that's the reason why I do the things I do. And I do it at an extensive or intensive rate because I want to see the world better again. So whatever discussion today I will come back with, I pray that President Trump says U.S. troop, the Navy SEAL, remove that blockade from Iran and keep the Strait open. We can still have negotiation. The U.S. can still negotiate with Iran, but let's keep the Strait open. To me, that is the primary objective right now because other countries need oil, other people need oil, business needs to flow. There are thousands of ships docked on the coast that needs to be fished out. And the only way they can get fished out if the U.S. remove its blockade from the port. Let me read one thing here that I want to leave on this note. The choke point crisis. I know what you guys know what they call the choke point crisis. I know what you guys are dissect or seeing a picture or watch a video of what the Strait looks like. I will try to give you guys a vivid description of what it looks like so you guys can kind of get a better picture and how condensed and how compact it is and how essential and vital that little alley is. But the uniqueness of that is that it sits on the coast of Iran. Even though 20% of the world depends on that, but that part of the strait sits literally in the lap of Iran. Technically, I could say, and I don't want to say I'm saying it, that it's facts, but that is they own that strait. They own that. Even though 20% of the world oil flows through that port, they own that port. So if you were to watch a video, I watched a video yesterday or day or two, it's like a small, and when I say small, not like small in the low literal sense of small, but it's so unique in a way that it is easy to get shut down. But it's so unique in a way that it's the quickest access port to every countries that needs that 20% of oil. Because if we use Oman, let me see Oman. If we use Oman, Oman is another Gulf port that we could use to get oil out, but almost like going all the way around. So if we use Oman, O-M-A-N, to say, you know what, forget about the Strait of Hormuz. We don't care about the Strait of Hormuz. To get oil to transport from Oman all the way to these countries, it almost like taking the back door of your home when you can take the front door to get to the porch or to your front door, to the front of your house. But instead, you take the back door to get all the way to the front of your house. That's the analogy. That's why we don't want to use Oman, because Oman is like going all the way around to get to the entrance of other countries. That's the reason why the Strait of Hormuz is so crucial, because once the ship passes through that entrance port, it is right there to other countries' entrance port, instead of going all the way around like most countries are doing now. But anyway, I love you guys and God bless. I will come back later on today and talk about something new. And if President Trump signed up on this trip being open, I will be excited that it's open like I did yesterday. I was excited yesterday it was open. I hope it continues today. I love you guys and God bless. And I love you guys who follow me. Look at all the comments. It's outrageous. I love you guys who follow me. I love the comments here, man. I got thousands of comments. Over 1,000 of comments. I'm sorry I can't read all the comments. Some of the comments are good. Some are not good. But read my back post. I'm insane. Somebody said read my back post. Yeah, so every time I get on live, you guys get on and we all talk. You guys share good ideas. We disagree in the chat, but then at the end of the day, we agree. I got a few folks from the UK in the live here. I want to shout you guys out from the UK. I got a few people here from other countries like Indiana, other states in the live. If you guys from other states in the live, let me know in the live. Let me shout you out before I kind of wrap it up. I got folks from Africa in the live, from the Caribbean in the live. I got Doe from Japan in the live. I got Doe from Kuwait in the live. From Dubai in the live. California in the live. Atlanta, New York City. From Pakistan in the live. Oh, I got folks from India in the live. I got folks from Australia in the live. I got folks from south part of the globe in the live. Yeah, guys. So France in the live. Yeah, I forgot. France is in the live. All right. Good evening from France. How you doing? Apok. Good evening. Oh, it's okay. So it's evening in France. All right. Good. It's evening in France. Good evening from France. Okay, good. All right, so hey, amazing. It's evening in France. So right here is afternoon here. It's evening over there. Amazing. All right, guys. So yeah, we got Bonilla. Bonilla's in the live here. Bonilla's in the live. What else we got in the live here? It is fun. It is fun teasing you, man. Thank you, bro. It's all about inspiration, man. It don't really move me. You know what I mean? Why you cannot say Omar's? That's it, Omar's. You know what I mean? I'm not from the Middle East, so that's the best pronunciation I can give you. Omar's. It is fun teasing you, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yes, guys. So peace to you, man. Peace to you too. What else here, guys? Yes. So I will come back later on today. I may not be in this spot today. I'm gonna come back later on and give you guys an update. He said 4 years plan. No, I don't know about the 4 years plan, but President Trump has his own plan as to when the war is gonna be over. What is your take on the genocide, in Gaza? Good question. I don't know why I skipped that question. What is your take on the genocide? Who asked me that? Ghost MN 5438. Any genocide, I'm not in support of that. Any genocide, whether it's from Israel, whether from the U.S., whether from Pakistan, Hamas, Hezbollah, Lebanon, it doesn't matter. Genocide is prohibited in my opinion. I don't believe in any form of genocide against any race or any people. So I hope I answered your question. I'm against that totally. If he does everything opposite, he will be fine. Yes, if President Trump opens the strait, not open the strait, but he removes the blockade from the entrance port of Iran, we all will be fine. He is only restricting Iran, that is it. Well, you cannot restrict Iran when the Strait of Hormuz runs through Iran. You can't restrict that. Almost like saying, I will block your entrance door, but you forget to know people got to pass through that entrance port to go to their apartments. So it makes no sense for us to block their entrance when they can block the back door. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So pretty much, I don't know whether that analogy fits well, but Zach thinking Trump has no plan in the POQ. I think Trump has a plan. I think he does have a plan. I think Rubio has a plan. I think Hedges has a plan. They all do. You know what I mean? They all has a plan to make America great again. I think that's obvious. They do have a plan. So, but how is the plan being executed? I don't know. I love you guys, man. God bless. Yeah, bro.